I have just received a moment before now from highly placed sources in the Union Cabinet the full list of Modi ministers who will take the oath of office. We will take you through on India Today, live and exclusive, the full list of Modi ministers. I'll take you through these 43 names one by one, starting with Shri Narayan Rane. He's the first name in the list that's been put out by the government. This list playing out first, live, exclusive here on India Today. The second name in the rank of ministers who will take the oath of office is of Sarabanda Sonowal. Then Dr. Virendra Kumar is number 3. Jyotiraditya Scindia, this is an order of seniority in terms of who will go in and take the oath of office, comes in at 4. Ramchandra Prasad Singh comes in at 5. Ashwini Vaishnav comes in at 6. Pashupati Kumar Paras comes in at 7. Kiran Rejiju getting a leg up from Minister of State to full rank Cabinet Minister at 8. R.K. Singh, Rajkumar Singh, currently Minister of State with independent charge in power, likely to get a leg up, as also Hardeep Singh Puri, again Minister of State with independent charge, likely now to be a full rank Cabinet Minister, as also Mansukh Mandavia, the Minister for Shipping, who also is likely to get a leg up, as is Bhupender Yadav, one of the key lieutenants of the current BJP dispensation when it comes to fighting elections. He will be getting a leg into the cabinet. Remember, so far he's been on the organizational and party side of things, being brought into the cabinet for the first time. These details breaking live, exclusive here on India Today. Then after Bhupender Yadav is Purushottam Rupala from Gujarat. Remember, elections due in Gujarat. Purushottam Rupala, blue-eyed boy of the Prime Minister, at number 13. G. Kishan Reddy, MP from Hyderabad, Minister of State for Home, is at number 14. Then at 15 is Anurag Thakur, currently Minister of State for Finance, working under Nirmala Sitharaman, now likely to get a full important cabinet rank. Then there is Pankaj Chaudhary. This is the official list of ministers playing out first, live, exclusive here on India Today. After which, Satyapal Singh Baghel, then Rajiv Chandrasekhar, well-known businessman, member of Parliament from of the Rajya Sabha. He's being brought into the cabinet, as also Sushri Shobha Karandlaje, very close to the Chief Minister of Karnataka, B.S. Yedurappa. She's coming in at number 20. Then Bhanu Pratap Singh Verma at 21. Darshana Vikram Jardosh at 22. Meenakshi Lekhi, Member of Parliament from New Delhi, at 23. Annapurna Devi at 24. Then A. Narayan Swamy at 25. Kaushal Kishore at 26. Ajay Bhatt 27. B.L. Verma 28. Ajay Kumar Chauhan, Devu Sin, Bhagwant Khuba, Kapil Patil, Pratima Bhaumik, Subhash Sarkar, Bhagwat Kiran Rao Karad, Rajkumar Ranjan Singh. Remember, this is the first time we've been able to access the full authenticated final list of Modi ministers who will be sworn in today. Then Matua leader from West Bengal, MP Shantanu Thakur, Bisheshwar Tudu, John Barla, Dr. L. Murugan, and Nishit Pramanik is number 43. That's the last name. Rajdeep Sardesai joins us, India's foremost political commentator. With us also in the studio, our new colleague, managing editor at Business Today Television, Siddharth Zarabi. Siddharth, welcome.
Thank you, Rahul.
Rajdeep, to you first, your sense of the full list of 43 ministers which we just broke on India Today TV.
When you look at I think you've got to look at this cabinet reshuffle both in terms of the inductees that you've just named as well as those who are exiting. When you look at the inductees, I think there is a genuine attempt made to try and give this a more to give the Council of Ministers a more representative character. If you look at it, ministers today are now represented from 25 states and union territories. So clearly the BJP has made a more serious effort to make it more representative, both in terms of regional and caste dynamics. You mentioned the OBC factor, and I think that's played an important role. But as you can see, they've also reached out, for example, to ST, Dalit, Brahman, depending on which state you are. In Maharashtra, for example, we have Dr. Bharti Pawar, who is a woman and a tribal. So she gets an opportunity. You look at Uttar Pradesh, you have representatives from Brahman, OBC communities as well there. You mentioned just now the Matua leader from West Bengal. So there is a clear attempt made to give this government a more representative character. Also in terms of gender, a number of new women being inducted. You're also seeing it in terms of age. The age has slightly been brought down. Having said all that, there is I think a story also in those who are exiting as much as those who are entering, particularly Dr. Harshvardhan. And I think there's been a report card which has been drawn, and I hope an admission at some level of failure as a result, particularly in the critical health ministry in COVID times. So there is a report card on the one side, and there is an attempt at political accommodation on the other. What perhaps is lacking, and maybe the fault also lies in us in the media, we are looking for the big buzz. You know, yesterday we were talking, who are going to be the technocrats? Who are going to be these dynamic new faces bringing in energy into this government? I don't know who they are at the moment.
There are 7 IAS officers.
There are seven IAS officers, which also shows Mr. Modi's reliance at times on bureaucrats to become efficient ministers. We've seen that with R.K. Singh in the past. He's been seen to be a
And
relatively
also
effective.
Hardeep Singh Puri, both getting a leg up.
That's right. But also remember, Hardeep Singh Puri had 2 portfolios, so he will be divested of one. Presumably, he will become a minister with independent charge or even a full cabinet minister. It'll be interesting to see, I think, who gets what portfolio. The top 4 unlikely to be touched, but elsewhere in critical areas like commerce, like health, what are the kind of ministers you're going to bring who are going to bring in new energy? This list, representative, politically a very, very strong list brought out with one eye on the elections, one eye on the future. States like Karnataka, Maharashtra, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, where the BJP did very well in 2019, now strongly represented in this cabinet. However, are you going to be able to energize this cabinet in the key portfolios? I think that's the next big challenge. But clearly, and I think therefore one has to at one level also give credit to the Modi government, they have gone through a report card, because a number of people they've dropped clearly because they believe they were non-performers. Will those who replace them really be able to perform? Huge question mark. Just a small point. Look at Maharashtra, my home state, which I look at. 4 of the 5 who've come in from Maharashtra were till 5 years ago not in the BJP. They've come either from the Congress or the NCP. Narayan Rane himself is someone who has stridently taken on the Shiv Sena. There was talk of a Shiv Sena BJP alliance in Maharashtra till a few days ago. By making Narayan Rane his top of your list, you're sending out a message there. Politically, I think also accommodating allies. You know, one criticism of Mr. Modi's cabinets in the past, very BJP centric. This time you made a genuine effort to reach out to the Janata Dal United. First time they get a strong representation in this cabinet. You've also recognized the need to have a small party like Apna Dal because of the Kurmi vote in Uttar Pradesh.